Welcome to day 9 of the greatest tournament on earth with Chicken Parm and Barry Melrose. I'm John Butchergrass. Barry got the snazzy suit, which is apropos because tonight
John, all my suits are snazzy.
You'll unveil the top 5 best dressed coaches in the NHL.
Yes, I will, and I got another surprise for you after that one.
Ooh, we're looking forward to that.
2 surprises tonight.
But let's hit the ice right away in Detroit. The Red Wings making some changes after 2 indifferent games in the honky-tonk. There's one. Poor Manny. He used to watch game number 5 and first period action. Pavel Datsyuk to Henrik Zetterberg. Good John Houseman name, Parm.
Datsyuk behind the net makes a nice feed through his legs. Zetterberg, great patience, gets Volkun down and he backhands it in. You don't see Zetterberg that excited. The Wings were ready to play.
3 minutes later, Barry, once again, the combination works. This time, Hawley finishes.
Well, Brett Hull is going to get going sooner or later. This line has been great all year long. Zetterberg this time has great vision. Sees Hull circling behind the way he always does. Couple spinoramas there for a little bit of intrigue, and Hull comes right down the gut and puts it in.
And then that Lady Bean trophy goes out the window.
Yeah, Hull gets caught for tripping. They had a great look, as he can't believe it. They had a great look at Darren McCarty. Look at this. Oops, that's a penalty, Hully.
Dirty player, dirty player.
Ensuing power play for Nashville. Shanny banks it off of Dan Hamuse's blade, Barry.
Harder you work, the luckier you get. Shanny here, first goal of the series, believe it or not, actually goes in off a Nashville player, maybe 2 of them. So he'll take him anywhere he can get him when you're struggling.
He had to have the most shots on goal of anyone in the playoffs without a goal
in the world.
David Legwand. Cujo, nice save there. Then Mark Eaton. Cujo is there. Is that ankle 100%? Some say it's not. There's some ligament damage. Could he even last the rest of the playoffs? Second period, Nick. You roll.
Lidstrom walks into this off the end boards. This is just the Wings' second power play goal of the series. Everybody looking good for the Wings. Long night for Nashville.
Bummer, says Jeremy Stevenson, and the Wings are winners 4-1. 1 win away from moving on. Barry, Dave Lewis is a coach. You were a coach. He obviously made some decisions. Some guys will play less. Some guys are going to play more.
Well, if you're going to lose, you might as well lose at your best and get them on the ice. And Nicky Lidstrom and Schneider and the players that got you. There were some struggling players for the Detroit Red Wings. Guys that haven't been putting the puck in the net. The guys that haven't been getting chances. You got to go with the guys that got you here. And the Stars did that. They played more tonight. It's a good lesson for all coaches. Whatever happens, make sure you win or lose with your best players on the ice. You work a lot longer that way.
And we mentioned Steve Thomas didn't play as much, and even Thomas Holmstrom. Some of these could have been injury-related, but Ray Whitney as well, all under 10 minutes.
Well, they had not produced in particular those middle 2 games in Nashville, and so Henrik Zetterberg and Datsyuk get themselves out on the ice a lot. And as they take the 3-2 lead in this series, what I like about the way the Wings played is for the first time in this series, they seem to have a desperate edge to them. If they work as hard as Nashville, Nashville's not going to be able to win this series. The way the Predators can stay in it is by outworking the Wings, pushing the pace of play with their speed. The Wings were able to keep up tonight. They puck controlled very well. Their competition level matches the Predators. They can't beat them.
One thing, though, I'd like to say, if you're going to lose a game in your Nashville, lose like this. Don't lose a 1-0 game where you play the best hockey you ever played. They got hammered tonight. They got outplayed all over the rink. That's what Barry Trotz will sell to his team. Forget about it. That's nothing. Let's go home and win and make this a 1-game series.
Well, they haven't lost yet, so they
haven't lost, and they've been pretty good all year long.
All right, Flames goaltender Mika Kiprusoff has allowed just 3 goals last 3 games. Look at that goalie on top of Hedberg. It's him. Pretty
good printing on that, Ross. That's Cap Raider printing.
Who's Alex Auld, Ray Ferraro?
Alex Auld's a 6'4" goaltender, played the year in Manitoba. Butterfly goaltender. Here he stops Chris Clark on the shorthanded breakaway. Clearly, Mark Crawford.
I gotta say it. Auld Lang Syne. I gotta say it.
Okay. You didn't have to, really.
Oh, I had to.
All right, Barry, Vancouver power play. Say something else.
Well, the best penalty killer is your goaltender. Kiprusoff is their best player and best penalty killer. Great save going side to side.
First period winding down. Kick save and a booty on Marcus Nilsson. Then, this is some good time hockey, Ray. Something you would do.
Well, yeah, I'd be the guy sitting in the bench or the guy getting tossed down on the ground.
No. Let's see if we see what you would do. We're seeing a little action there. Ference, Jovanov. Oh, there's Ray. There's Ray. I'll get you, you rat. You dirty rat.
I don't know what Bruton was planning to do with that.
I'm going to take your ankle home. And, Alex Auld overcommits, and Craig Conroy makes it 1-0. Then, Robin Regeer. Oh, smell the glove. All the big save, Ray.
Yeah, Auld's a butterfly goaltender. He had a little problem with his glove on the first goal there. He was very sharp.
Then Kiprusoff, the save of the day, Barry.
Wow, this guy moves so well. Made 2 saves in front. Actually did a spinorama, came up. Great glove save also. A little bit of theatrics, too. I'd like to see that.
Meanwhile, the Canucks get on the board. 2 Sedins in front of Kiprusoff.
2 Sedins are better than 1, and the puck hits Henrik in the chest.
Sure it was Henrik?
Well, it's Henrik. It's the it's 33. It's got to be Henrik.
A guy with H. Sedin on his name.
Again, this game is going on, and of course, if somebody scores, you'll see it right here on NHL Tonight. We'll turn around for you very quickly as they're playing right now in the third period, 1-1, 14 minutes left. And again, no surprise to our viewers out there who've been watching NHL Tonight this past week. Ray, you have told us all week long that Coach Mark Crawford has no confidence in Johan Hedberg.
He's a tough guy on his goaltenders. Last year, Peter Skudra was the backup goaltender to Dan Cloutier, and he cast Skudra aside and brought in Alex Auld down the stretch. Auld actually played Game 5 of the Minnesota series. Well, this year it's Johan Hedberg, who he's lost confidence in the last 2 months of the season. As Hedberg got hurt, they brought up Auld again to play some games. Auld was shuttling back and forth between Manitoba and Vancouver. He gets the start in Game 5. He's been very solid.
Well, I'm a much bigger believer in styles of play. I hope styles of play win rather than teams, and you should really hope for the Calgary Flames guys out there. If you're a hockey fan, this team forechecks, they hit, they play with passion. They got Kiprusoff in net. The defense pinches. They're very aggressive. The only thing that they're not great at right now is the power play. If that ever comes together, Calgary has a run at the cup. But this team does not trap. They do not play a defensive style. Teams like this got to win in order to get hockey back to where it once was.
Sorry, I got in your shot there. My enormous head, I can't control it.
I'm lucky they can even see me.
And a matter of fact, the Calgary Flames just went up 2-1, and you can tell because they're celebrating and Mark Crawford's swearing.
All right, when we come back, we'll show you that goal. We'll turn around quickly, but first a timeout and let you know what else is coming up here on NHL Tonight besides the Calgary goal. Elimination day for the Canadiens. Could they live to see another day, or would the Bruins win their first playoff series in 5 years? Matt Sundin questionable for Game 5, and so is one of his teammates. Leaf injury info next. Plus, you won't want to miss our top plays. Flyers fans, their version of stupid Petricks. Or is that one of the best dressed coaches? I'm not sure.
I got you something.
Oh, you shouldn't have. Oh, this is nice. And here's yours. I know it's not fancy, but it's what's inside that counts. And what's inside is Labatt Blue.
Wow.
Huh?
I love it.
Break out the blue. Labatt Blue.
Awesome gift.
Oh, yeah.
My life, my job, my curse is to vanquish evil.
The night falls. The moon rises. The hunt begins.
Who's hunting whom?
On May 7th, adventure has a new name. Van Helsing. Rated PG-13. Starts Friday, May 7th.
Yeah. We used to get heartburn all the time, but now that new Prilosec OTC is here.
We're gonna spread the word.
Yes, indeed. Hey, you okay?
Heartburn the third day this week.
Start taking this tomorrow and things can change.
Prilosec OTC.
1 pill a day can relieve frequent heartburn for 24 hours.
I could have zero heartburn.
And it starts working the very first day.
Prilosec OTC!
1 pill a day,
24 hours,
zero heartburn.
All right, boys. I know you might be tired, but we're in full playoff mode now, and we're gonna need everything you got. The players are giving their all, and we're gonna need you to do the same.
The NHL playoffs delivered daily on ESPN and ESPN2.
When Kevin's world crumbled, he had to move in with family.
Who woman can resist you?
A blind woman, maybe.
That's where your powerful smell comes in.
An all-new Big House, part of TGIF, ABC Friday.
Here's that goal Ray was referring to, Calgary, Vancouver. It was looked at, but eventually it was allowed. Ferentz from the point, believe it hit again like halfway there. Dropped straight down, was bouncing in. They thought perhaps maybe Jean punched him, but Ray went under his glove.
It went under his glove, hit Oland in the foot. Typical Calgary Flame goal. Guys lying all over the place. You see the traffic going to the net. Jelena and Oland scrambling for it. It clearly hits Oland's foot and deflects behind Alex Auld.
We saw the net move, then go back down. They kind of changed that rule. We saw some disallowed goals last year in the playoffs.
Thank God they changed that.
Yeah, that was a bad one. All right. Alexei Kovalev, of course, you know that story. Last game, Montreal, cost his team the game, maybe the series. We'll see. Yannick Perreault, nice shot. McGillis and Slager, the defenseman there for the Bruins. 1-0 Montreal. later. Brian Ralston had plenty of chances but couldn't get it by Theodore. Late first. Whistle's going to blow it. We have a Canadian on the ice, Barry.
Piper down right there. Zednik's down. This has sort of been a theme all series long. Canadiens going down. Shot from the point. A little bit of a cross-check behind, borderline call. Boynton, go in front of there. You got to be prepared to take a beat.
All right, second period. Still 1-0 Montreal. Saku Koivu. Waits. There he is. What a perfect pass to see him and find Kovalev and make it 2-0, Barry.
Well, Thornton loses the puck in the neutral zone. Unfortunately, Joe's had a bad night tonight. Kovalev gets a nice pass from Koivu, and he's a great shooter. You got to give the guy credit. He's a great player.
Andrew Raycroft gets Sergei Samsonov on that one. Still in the second, Bruins down 2-0. Andy Hilbert, he hasn't played a lot in this series. What he has, he's played with some confidence in going to the net. Oh, beautiful save by Theodore right there to keep it. Later, Joe Thornton, Ray Ferraro.
The Thornton's had a tough series. He gets pushed into Theodore, and as Markov comes over to see what's going on, Joe flattens him. How's your nose? That hurts, trust me. With the shield on, the shield doesn't help you. As Thornton gets pushed in here, Markov comes. He's got to, if you're going to go and argue, get your hands up. That's another thing I learned, because when you're a bad fighter, keep your hands
over your face. I learned.
Grab your ears and hide.
Put them over your face.
Third period, then Joe Thornton has a chance to clear this puck. Bruins are trying to change. He crawls back in his own zone. His stick gets caught in the referee, Barry, and Zednik makes it 3-0.
Long night for Joe. I love him. He's got to play better. We all know that. There's the stick getting caught by the referee, and Zednik adds insult to injury. Joe can't catch him. He makes a beautiful play on another goal.
So 3-0 Bruins trying to get one. They still have some time here. And Glenn Murray off a beautiful pass from Nick Boynton. Murray redirects it in. Second goal of the playoffs, Ray.
Yeah, heads up by Boynton. He sees Glenn Murray coming in from the side. Nice deflection by Murray. No chance for Jose Theodore.
Kind of healed it a bit, but still got her to go. Now Bruins have time, as we mentioned, and Bergeron almost makes it a one-goal game with 11 minutes left. But then the Bruins start taking some penalties, and holy shnikey. Saku Koivu, the captain, came to play. His team was down. They were emotionally down. Perhaps they were even fragmented. Yet he comes out, gets 3 points, and makes a statement. And, Barry, I think it's time for the Bruins captain to stand up and make a statement, not only for his team, but for his career.
Well, without a doubt. I think we all love Joe Thornton. We love the way he plays. I know he's your favorite player now that Cam Neely's gone. But he hasn't had a great playoffs. He hasn't got a point yet. He took some bad penalties tonight. He made some mistakes in the neutral zone. Whereas the Montreal best players, Theodore won this game for him in the first 5 minutes of the game. The Boston Bruins had 4 great chances earlier in the game, and Theodore, who is their best player, and they know it, made the saves, Ray. So it is time. The best players got to show up if you're going to do any damage in the playoffs.
There'll be a lot of heat on Joe Thornton, just as there was a lot of heat on Jose Theodore in Montreal. And there's no tougher place to play goal than in Montreal. They said, yeah, he's a star goaltender, but we need him to be a superstar. Their season is on the line, and Jose Theodore makes over 40 saves in a game. So going back to Montreal, Joe Thornton has to put the Bruins on his back. Mike Sullivan tried a couple of different things, put Patrice Bergeron on Thornton's line. But if you're waiting for an 18-year-old to be your spark, you've got problems. Your best player has to step up, and it has to be Joe Thornton.
Now, saying that, if the Boston Bruins had started a series, John, we're told that we'll be 3-2 going back to Montreal, and Joe Thornton hasn't got a point, I think they would have took that.
That's right. The Bruins have never blown a 3-1 lead, and Montreal's never come back from a 3-1 deficit in franchise history for both teams. How about that?
They might be due.
Hey, that's right. It's first time for everything. All right, moving on. Let's talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs now. Joe Nieuwendyk, injured, of course, and not playing the last game, Game 4. He got a bad back. And doubtful for Game 5 as well. Did not practice today, but he did say his back was getting better. He hopes to play. Meanwhile, Matt Sundin did not skate as well, nursing a bad left ankle right there. Injured in Game 4 in Ottawa as he tumbled into the boards heavily. Now, Ray, you said the fact he didn't skate today is no big deal.
No, I don't think that's relevant at all. At this time of the year, your best players don't practice anyway. Most of the practices in the playoffs are optional. Guys are tired as the games start to pile up on them. So Sundin had some treatment today, and Nieuwendyk probably had the same. So however, if they're not in the lineup for Game 5, that's a huge hole in the middle of their lineup. They already do not have Owen Nolan, so 3 of their top forwards are out of the lineup. That's a huge break for Ottawa, and maybe this is a step that they can take, Barry, to get over the hump against against the Leafs?
Well, number one, I'll be very, very surprised, Ray, if these two guys aren't playing in the game, because unless you're dead or your arms, legs broken or cut off or whatever, you're going to be in the lineup. It wasn't that serious an injury. He went in, he skated off, and same thing with Nieuwendyk. Back spasms flare up, and I got to think both these guys will be in the lineup. But again, if they're not, Ottawa's got to take advantage of it. An injury is no good unless you take advantage of it. Ottawa has outplayed Toronto most of this series. The only reason it's 2-2 is because Eddie Belfour, who's been all world in the net for the Toronto Maple Leafs. So those injuries will be a factor only if the Ottawa Senators can take advantage of them.
All right, as you saw under Barry's tie there, the game is on TV. It's on ESPN2 tomorrow. There it is. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Senators and Maple Leafs, a colossal Game 5 in that series. Also, the Lightning can move on. A win over the Islanders, and they go on to the second round. There's your Stanley Cup playoff lineup tomorrow, ESPN and ESPN2. Coming up on NHL tonight, the Sharks have the rhythm and the Blues on the ropes. The Sharks look to move to the second round. And now this is irony. Barry Melrose given a top 5 best dressed list. Barry's top 5 next.
Turn right at the big tree. Go north. Veer left over the bridge. Take the far right. Go straight up the mountain. Head for home. Do you know the right way to go? Introducing GPS Scape, the world's first built-in ATV navigation system. Find it in the 400cc Rancher Automatic from Honda.
Ah, spring. Time for the sweet sounds of
pucks ringing the post and big-time hits. Before you get cup crazy, get Java technology from Sun Microsystems. It's in millions of phones, computers, and smart Java cards. And it connects you to the best NHL action. Use your Java-powered phone or computer for a secure connection to live scores and games like NHL Power Shot Hockey. Get in the game at java.com or nhl.com. Sun Microsystems. The network is the computer.
On an April weekend in New York City, 32 teams begin the quest for a championship.
It's April, and we're ready for some football.
You'd love to draft an All-American, but any selection could be a standout. An All-Pro, a Super Bowl MVP. What does your team need? The NFL Draft 2004, presented by Coors Light, begins Saturday, April 24th at noon on ESPN and continues all weekend on ESPN and ESPN.
Over 200 GMC trucks, vans, and SUVs, just $1. It's the Truck for a Buck sell-off at Bill Andrews GMC, and it ends Saturday at 6 p.m. Brand new GMC trucks, vans, and SUVs with payments starting as low as $190 a month. Just $190 per month. Just $1 down delivers. Plus, make no monthly payments until August. And bring your trade because you appraise it. Just tell us what your trade is worth. Only through Saturday during the Truck for a Buck sales event, and only at Bill Andrews GMC in Lafayette.
Over 8 million drivers feel really good riding with Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Finns to the right, Blues to the left. Sharks can advance to the Western Conference semis for the 5th time in team history. Here's Chris Pronger. How many more games will he play for the Blues? First period action. And the Sharks strike first. Brad Stewart with the rebound goal.
Just the start that the Sharks want. Marleau with the puck. Danfus' shot gets deflected. The Blues don't take care of Stewart, who comes in. No chance for Osgood.
Dimitrakos. Wait, we thought that went in. Dwayne Rollison thought it went in. Joe Beninati thought it went in, but wait. It hit the post. Turn that horn off. All right, later in the first period, Doug Waite. He can work behind the net. To Brian Savage, 1-1, Barry.
Great passer. Dougie Waite's got to play better. Good work behind the net by Mellenby. Wade is actually just throwing it into the crease there, hoping for some traffic, and Savage knows that Wade will do that, goes to the front of the net, and is rewarded.
Midway through the second, loose puck in front. Oh! Osgood never saw it coming. Mark Smith, a sweet release. 2-1, Ray.
Yeah, Backman gets the puck stripped off him, and Smith is right there on the doorstep to put it past Osgood. Again, nothing Osgood can do about it.
No Scott Thornton in this game. No Alan McCauley. And Mike Ricci, the redirection goal, the first goal of the playoffs. We'll start with you, Barry. You start with the San Jose Sharks. Again, not a lot of respect from this team, but you talk about a solid, well-built team. This is the one that few people talk about, but maybe more should.
Oh, you always want to be in that situation as a coach and a team. No one gives you any respect. No one thinks you can win, and you sneak up on them. That's exactly what happened here. I think most people thought the veterans in St. Louis and the talent in St. Louis would overcome the youngsters. Not the case. Marlowe's the real deal. Their defense is big, mobile, and aggressive. McLaren, Stewart, Hannon, Ratchie, they all move the puck well. The goaltenders are deep. And Nabokov's as good a goaltender is in hockey right now, and they got a lot of guys that can score. Who scored big goals for San Jose? Dimitrakis has big goals. Thornton's got big goals. Marlowe's got big goals. So one line doesn't carry their offensive load array. This team, with their depth, will be tough to play against whoever comes out.
Now, I thought Nabokov has a chance to be this year's Jaguar. He played solidly through this first round. He has been terrific at home. And as Barry mentioned, their defense is young and physical, and they can move, and they're going to be a tough team for anyone to match up against.
And, of course, Chris Pronger, will this be his last game as a member of the Blues? This team has never won the Stanley Cup Finals. They have to qualify him. They have to give him a 10% raise. That takes him around $10 million a year, Ray. What would you do?
This is a tough decision for the Blues. Of the many things the owner screwed up with in the CBA is that the CBA ends in September, but you have to do business July 1st on your free agents. So Pronger has to be qualified at $9.9 million, and they haven't won with him. If you let him go, you're letting go one of the top 5 or 6 defensemen in the league, but you can bring in 3 guys at $3 million. It's a really interesting decision. I wouldn't be surprised if Pronger's not back.
And, of course, his health, his wrist was fine this year, Barry, but you don't know how long that could last. And, again, $10 million, as Ray mentioned.
The key to me, though, is McGinnis won't be back. So that's a chunk of change that they're not going to pay McGinnis. And McGinnis is the 1-2 defenseman, just like Pronger. If McGinnis leaves and they don't sign Pronger, they don't really have a 1 defenseman. Barry Jackman's awesome, Calder Trophy winner, but he's not a guy that can move the puck and run the power play. So I personally believe that the Pronger is one place where they make their stand and they will sign him.
But if you're going to look at it just on finances, they'd still have Keith Tkachuk and Doug Wade under contract. Those are 2 hefty contracts. As well, they'll have to do something about Pavel Demitra, who makes $6.5 million. This is a tough summer for Larry Pelot in St. Louis.
Yeah, and I also hear Kelly Chase is asking for a raise in the radio booth.
He deserves it. Yeah, Wade, Tkachuk, and Pronger combined, that's about $27 million for those 3 players.
A lot of cash.
All right, time now, of course, for Barry, really your specialty. People either love or hate your suits.
Well, most of them love it. Most of them love it.
Coaches get lots of airtime. So I would think if I'm a coach, I'm going to look my best because, you know, all the coverage.
Best dressed, we'll call it the Barry Melrose Award for the best dressed coaches in the NHL.
Top 5.
And I think we're going to start at number 5. And that is Eddie Olchuk. Pittsburgh didn't win much.
Should be higher.
Pittsburgh didn't win much this year, but Eddie O always looks sharp in losses and in wins. Got the nice haircut, too. Always speaks very well, so Eddie's number 5. Mark Crawford's number 4. Never in control of his emotions, but always in control of his wardrobe.
Great ties.
Very sharp. Spruces it up, too. Doesn't wear blue every night like some people I know. Really comes out. Now, for the older crowd, the conservative crowd, Pat Quinn. He lost a lot of weight, quit smoking cigars, and a few other things.
Wish you
Looks good, takes care of himself.
Nice dimple.
A very conservative look, but he's a very sharp dresser. Number 2, good Saskatchewan boy, Mike Babcock. Went to the Stanley Cup Finals last year. Really improved his wardrobe there. Sharp. You can tell he lives in Southern California. He's always got a nice little tan, a nice little bronze look. Doesn't look like white guys like us from Bristol, Connecticut. But Ronnie Wilson's the best. Ronnie's got the best wardrobe. Wherever he's coached, he's always had the best wardrobe. Mixes it in with a vest here or there. Changes his hairdo every once in a while. But Ronnie Wilson's number 1. It was a tough list. But we got one more list, right? That was the Melroses for the best dressed coach.
I smell something.
Oh, you should smell. This is the Butcher Gross list.
Butcher Gross is for the worst dressed coach, okay? And this is a tough list. Number 5.
There's a lot of candidates, but to dress like Bucci, oh my God.
Steve Sterling, you know, an older gentleman. He could do something with the hair, maybe put a little color in it like John does with his hair. But Steve is number 5. Number 4, Mikey Sullivan. Young guy like you, Mikey, dress a little more, a little pizzazz. Maybe a pinstriped here or
maybe a smaller knot.
Something. So Mikey Sullivan's number 4. I hate to do this to my buddies from Ontario or from Alberta.
Look at that time.
Daryl Sutter's going to be number 3.
That's not bad.
Daryl's a veteran coach. He's made a ton of money. Daryl could improve his wardrobe very, very quickly. Brian Sutter, I got to go with Brian, number 2. He's even got less pizzazz than Daryl.
Barry, the tailor in Viking, Alberta, has been on strike for 30 years.
Okay, now this is the hardest thing to do because I love the guy. Ken Hitchcock's going to be my worst-dressed coach. Ken's made a ton of money. He's one of the highest-paid coaches in the NHL. Grab Jeremy Roenick, Ken. Go out, and work on it, man. We could get a lot better. You're going to be maybe in the Stanley Cup Finals this year in front of cameras for the next 6 weeks. JR, go out with Ken, improve the wardrobe a little bit down the stretch. And that is the Butchie Grasses.
And I think, and there's one other thing you should know about Butch. All his ties, he can't tie them. Somebody else has to tie his ties.
So you tie both of them?
The man is 38 years old. He can't tie a tie.
That's not true. These allegations are false. I did not.
And you compounded it with that haircut.
What happened to our sign?
It went the way of your suits. Gone.
Boy, they're pushing us out the door quickly, aren't they? All right. More to come on NHL. First the sign goes, then the analyst. Which Canadian player has scored the most career playoff goals against the Bruins? Bellevue, Lafleur, Richard, or Shutt? Answer next.
The NBA playoffs begin Saturday on ESPN.
Now, this here, that's the drain plug. It lets the oil drain out to the pan. Remember, she's got a lot of mileage on her, but one day, she'll be all yours.
Help keep the family car in the family. Switch to Valvoline's Max Life at 75,000 miles. Its added ingredients help prevent wear on critical engine parts.
After our naps, we'll flush the radiator.
At 75,000, time to switch to Max Life.
All right, it's between you guys. Best bartender gets the job.
After you. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
The Bat Blue, please.
I've got this one. Canada's finest.
Thanks.
Break out the blue. Labatt Blue.
Is it hot in here, or is it just him?
The critics have discovered Hellboy. It's an instant classic. Really? It's on fire with scares and laughs. You missed! It's the most exciting genre-bending action film since the original Matrix. Hellboy. Gonna be sore in the morning. Rated PG-13, now playing.
Imagine steak and shrimp, or shrimp and steak. Imagine having both of these on just one plate.
Applebee's new steak and shrimp double features. Get happy.
So happy together.
At Progressive, we think car insurance claims should be easy. That's why we assign you a dedicated claims representative to help you from start to finish, so you always know what's going on with your claim. We even guarantee repairs for as long as you own your car. For over 65 years, we've been changing the way people think about car insurance with great rates and personal helpful claim service. Visit Progressive.com or call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE. Think easier. Think Progressive.
Tonight on SportsCenter, what's wrong with Boston's best man? And what's oh so right with the Marlins? Plus, what Kobe and MJ both know about winning. SportsCenter, 10 Pacific, ESPN. All right, boys, what's your guess?
Guy Lafleur.
Maurice Richard.
Yeah, gotta be Lafleur.
Oh, ho, ho!
Correct answer of the postseason goes to Barry Melrose. Ray still on the schneid.
I'm happy for him. Somebody got one right.
All right, good work.
Questions.
All right, top plays, number 3. The Flyers will do anything to move on, Barry. Is that?
I'm not touching this one with a 10-foot pole, man.
I mean, what is that? I mean, I know it's an elephant.
I've heard of Moose DuPont, but what's this all about?
Number 2, what Richie Blackmore was to Rainbow, Mika Kiprusoff is to the Flames.
Great leg save off of Jeff Sanderson. Kiprusoff has been a great story in Calgary.
But boy, this was a sweet goal right here. Datsuk, Zetterberg. Wings back on top of their game.
Well, Detroit finally scored goals in the first period. That can't continue in Nashville.
They had 3 in the first period and went on to win.
That's an evil face on Henry.
Evil. Here's your schedule tomorrow night. ESPN2 has the Senators and Maple Leafs at 7 Eastern, series tied at 2. And then ESPN at 7:30 has the Islanders and the Lightning. The Lightning can move on to the second round as the Sharks did tonight. Hobie Baker winner Junior Lessard signs a 1-year contract Thursday with the Stars. Meanwhile, the game's still going on as 2-1 Calgary, 3 minutes left. All right, Barry, from what you saw tonight, what sticks out at you the most?
I got to say Joe Thornton. I got to say this series, the way Joe has dominated during the regular season, he's such a powerful forward, not having a point in this series, and yet Boston still up 3-2 in this series. So I got to think he's going to explode. He's too much of a competitor. He showed his frustration tonight, but I think Joe's going to really bounce back and play well in Game 6.
What Detroit did, are they kind of back, you know, in your mind, is your opinion raised a bit after tonight?
Yeah, it is. I like the desperation that they played with. They came out in the first period and just snowed Nashville under. Curtis Joseph didn't have much to do, but a nice game that he didn't have to be really busy in there. I look for them to finish the series off in Nashville.
All right. For Ray Ferraro and Barry Melrose, I'm John Butchergrass. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you guys tomorrow night.
Be careful on your drive, your journey, your odyssey.
Heading back to Heidelberg for a couple of days, but be back on Sunday. Peace.
They say you need a program to tell the players, but don't worry, for the next 60 minutes, we'll be your guide in the NHRA Sportsman Series. Take a look at what happened in an explosive weekend so far. Sean Jones not only lost the motor, he lost the body. Sean's okay, but the body is on life support.